Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Nachman Lieser, and I have the pleasure of co-hosting the webinar together with Emily Baker. Before we begin, we wait another minute or two as people are rolling in. In the meantime, if you can post in the chat where you're joining from to see where we got everybody coming in here. Let's see, where do we have? Yeah, so I enabled the chat and anybody can post over here. Oh, we got Iowa, New York.
Wait, Iowa, that's me.
Uh, oh, we got Florida, Idaho, Alberta. We got a lot coming in here. A lot coming in. Mexico, Illinois. Alberta. Wow, we're getting people all over here. So we are going to be hosting at the end a Q&A session. And the Q&A session, so we're going to be running the webinar for 30 minutes up to 1:30 Eastern time, and then we will have a Q&A session. So any questions that anybody has that comes up throughout the webinar, please feel free to just drop it into the Q&A box, and we'll get to all the questions, or at least to most of them.
I would also love to hear if you have a Walmart account already, if you could put a 0 in the chat, maybe.
We can do a poll.
Yeah, let's do a poll. If you do not have a Walmart account, I would love to see how many people are really, really new. That will be helpful.
Yeah, I'll just put a question mark, which so we're gonna get that going. All right. All right. Oh, thanks, Linda, for pointing out. You say my mic is not good. Is it better now? You guys hear me now clear? All right. Hi, everybody. We're going to begin now. My name is Nachman Lieser. I am the CEO and co-founder of ConnectBooks. My background is I've been doing accounting for the last 12 years. I do have a master's degree in accounting. And just as a little bit about ConnectBooks, ConnectBooks is an e-commerce accounting platform. What ConnectBooks is designed to do is to help e-commerce sellers really understand their profits. Understand the first question is, are you making money or you're not making money? And then the second question goes, if yes or no, the question is where and what's causing you to drag down. So our primary focus is on the accounting aspect and just to make sure to help sellers and give to give them clarity so they understand exactly what's going on. And we have today joining us is Emily Baker, and Emily runs a group called CrazyFlippinMom, which she helps sellers understand and helps build out how to start and get going on Walmart.com. Emily, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Again, I founded CrazyFlippinMom almost 4.5 years ago as a place to, wasn't really intended just for moms, but it was really from me and my background of reselling. You can see back here, I resell estate sales on eBay and Facebook Marketplace still, but I have been an Amazon seller for 5 years. And the last couple of years, I switched over to Walmart, and my community focuses on bringing education to smaller resellers, e-commerce sellers in the Amazon and Walmart space. So we bring in everybody you can think of. Nachman has been there. ConnectBooks has been there. Other tools out there, other speakers, service providers into the community to share how to get your store up and running and scale. Everything from leads to weekly calls. It is definitely a smaller community, and that is intentional, the feel of feeling close-knit one-on-one. So we're really learning from each other. So that is the community. You can find me on all social media platforms at CrazyFlippinMom. I provide education on YouTube as well. So I talk a lot about Walmart on YouTube. You can find me there. And Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about Walmart. I talk a lot about Walmart. I love this platform, even with all its flaws. It's like a child. I love it. Yeah, I'm excited. And if you can put, I think he made a poll here. Maybe this is an old one. I would love to hear if you do not have a Walmart account. That is really helpful to provide you with the most accurate information that you can take from here and start using. But yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for the intro. I do think something went wrong with the poll, so we'll just do another poll a little later on in the webinar. It wasn't a multi-select, but we'll have another poll coming out soon, and everybody can answer the questions. So the first topic we'll be covering today is Amazon versus Walmart. What do you need to know? So Emily, what can you tell us about Amazon versus Walmart? You're an Amazon seller and a Walmart seller. You're helping people get onto Walmart. How do you see Amazon today? What do you see going on at Walmart, and how do the two of them differ?
Yeah, that's a great question. And if you have questions, I know this is a short webinar, but please post questions and we'll try to get to as many as we can today. But some of the differences between Amazon and Walmart, and that should be alone like a 3-hour conversation. But I think the most obvious response to that is Amazon is only an e-commerce store and has only been an e-commerce platform. So the inventory, the sellers, everything you see, I mean, we know as sellers, there's multiple FBA warehouses, right? But from a buyer standpoint, everything you see is happening in one place online all the time. And it is almost the exact opposite for Walmart. Walmart was first, and maybe if you talk to them, maybe foremost, a store on every corner. They have successfully brought themselves into the world of e-commerce, and they have opened up their platform to third-party sellers, but they are first and foremost a storefront. And that I used to say, if you can sell on Amazon, you can sell on Walmart. I don't say that anymore because that fundamental difference makes these two platforms, besides just the normal you post stuff and sell it, very different in how things play out. With Amazon, everything is in one place, in a warehouse, all the inventory, all the sellers. On Walmart, inventory is scattered across the country, and really I can have product available to me in my zip code that you do not have available to you in your zip code. The best example I have of this is in Florida. When we went on vacation last year, the Walmarts there were filled with Disney products. I do not have any of that stuff available to me in Iowa. So even across the country, inventory is different, sellers are different, how much inventory you can buy. And I'm trying to collect like buyer buyer speech and seller speech, and it's not mixing well, but it makes it a lot different than Amazon. The fact that when you get on to buy, what you see available to you may be very different than what's available to me. That is a fundamental difference between both platforms. And that causes a lot of chaos, honestly, on the Walmart platform, because I think they're trying to do their best at managing storefronts across the country, actual brick and mortar stores and third-party sellers. And what's also crazy is Walmart is the leading competitor to Amazon. So their numbers are not, we're not talking about a little platform here. We're talking about a platform that dominates. And for instance, Amazon has 9 million third-party sellers, and Walmart has 170,000 third-party sellers. Like, that's a huge opportunity there. But why? That could also be a red flag of why there's such a big difference. It's newer, right? They're just opening the platform up to third-party sellers, but it's different. And I would say I could talk a lot about this, and I would love to hear what your questions are around this. But that's probably the biggest difference between the two platforms, is one was actually created with a storefront in mind and one was not. And it leads then to lots of other fun issues and hurdles and pain points that we face.
Emily, I know that a lot of people are having like issues, like let's say in getting onto Amazon, like everybody talks about Amazon these days in 2024 versus Amazon in 2015, which was a whole different ballgame. You're able to do whatever you wanted, everything was going on. How does Walmart compare today to the restrictions on Amazon, and how are people handling that these days? Like, is
Did
it easy to just set up a listing? Is it easy
Yeah.
to get your sales on there?
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
Walmart so aggressive like Amazon coming out with new fees, new restrictions all day?
Okay. No, they're not. And I think that's why there is this huge rush to the Walmart platform because it is pretty simple, straightforward. They do not have the monthly fee. I would say it's difficult to get an account to actually become an approved seller because they're looking for established sellers. Whereas Amazon, you need your driver's license really to open an account. But then on the back end is where the work comes with ungating. Walmart, it's more difficult to get that account set up because, like I said, they want to see you already have inventory, you have sales history, you have product to sell. But then on the back end, there isn't really the gating and restrictions you see on Amazon. The fees are similar between platforms, but they're also not putting the burden of placement fees and all of the extras that come with what Amazon is. That's really not there. It's very simple, for better or worse. It's very simple. You can sell most products there, most toys there. I am primarily a grocery seller on Walmart. And I would say that is another difference between both platforms. I think it seems like there may be a lot of Amazon sellers here. You probably know your customer base and what they're looking for. And I would say Amazon sellers, they have been buying, or sorry, Amazon customers, they have been buying on Amazon for a while and they're comfortable buying tires, toothbrushes, makeup. There's a wide variety of products people are getting on Amazon to buy. And when you look at Walmart, a big difference I see is, what do you shop for on Walmart compared to Amazon? And I think of more replenishable products, grocery products is what you're getting on Walmart to buy. And so there is that difference there. But to answer your question, somebody said, is it cheaper? What platform is cheaper? Walmart. Straightforward. But what you lack on Walmart is data, Keepa charts, all the information, the ranking system, all the information to know how well this listing is going to perform.
I mean, Walmart has come a long way in terms of technology. They're definitely getting better than what they were. Like, we have seen a lot of stuff, like a lot of data, for example, in terms of understanding fees per item that we used to never have from Walmart. Or in the beginning, when we launched our Walmart integration, we had like an upload. We told clients, go to the Walmart marketplace, download these reports and upload it to ConnectBooks so you can see your proper reporting, because Walmart didn't have that information available on the API. And then all of a sudden they started giving all this information available on the API. And I know Walmart has made a lot of advancements in terms of fees and also in terms of advertising information that sellers can actually utilize much better to understanding what they're spending on ads per product. If they want to try to promote their product, they want to try to get it. And I know that they have constantly be busy adding on a lot of these stuff. So which tells us is that they will get much closer in terms of, like, I'm assuming they'll probably at one point add on like ranks or all these other things, because they are moving across the pipeline and adding on a lot of things. So I want to move on to the next topic. Is one of the things we want to discuss about is which data Walmart sellers should be obsessing over. So one of the things that I have seen personally is on the Walmart platform, which differs a little from Amazon, and it's definitely, the Walmart is definitely, like as Emily stated, climbing up, and they have the ability to compete with Amazon. So most Amazon sellers that I would say utilize FBA. Now, the idea when they utilize FBA, it's very standard practice, meaning you take your items, you send it into Amazon, and then from there, Amazon will tell you what they charge to fulfill the product, what they charge to ship the product. Walmart recently launched their WFS services, and WFS, works the same way as Amazon. You send in your inventory, and the benefit of utilizing the fulfillment services versus using your own fulfillment services is that there is no hidden fees. So for example, if you know that, let's say, a certain product, let's say if they tell you that to ship out this product, it doesn't matter where in the country we want to ship it, costs, let's say, $3, then you rather understand, okay, I price it at X. This is their commission fee that they're taking. This is what they charge to ship the product. And then you have to add in a little bit odds and ends, what else would cost you to ship out the product. The challenge where I've seen a lot of people is doing is when they start fulfilling their own products. And what ends up happening is that, let's say I'm located in New York. So let's say an order comes in, I have my warehouse over here, and an order comes in from California. Now I have to ship the product across the country. So when you have to start shipping products across the country, that's where shipping gets very expensive. Or if you have, let's say, a lot of times there could be certain issues with certain products that cost a lot to ship. And that's very unpredictable, because when you start fulfilling your own products, you don't have all that information. So one of the things that we at ConnectBooks built, and I've personally seen a lot of sellers lose a ton of money, or not even lose money, I would say like make no money on Walmart, is on the shipping. And the shipping is something that you want to really be on top of. So one of the features that ConnectBooks has is that we connect the app to Walmart directly. We pull in all that information. Then we also connect to shipping platforms like ShipStation or Vico, and we pull from their shipping information, which gives you the ability to understand and see more of what's happening and understanding, making sure that you're making money on all your products. Now, I can't stress enough about the importance of, running over your profitability, making sure that your products are making money. And I would say usually it's not about making money. Usually I usually tell people, like, try to keep like a certain margin. Let's say you have to make at least 25% profit, because you need to still leave over some money to cover your overhead and plus, to take home something. So you always want to have that certain profit margin that you want to keep. And you want to also make sure that you have that you're recording that you're making the proper profit margins, including the shipping costs, which is probably one of the biggest killers can be there. And that's where WFS could really help you a lot. So I do know that there's a lot of ability, like if somebody is trying to get approved for WFS, I do know that I do have some people to reach out to. I'm sure Emily also has, who can help you get approved on that part if you're looking to get into the WFS section.
Yeah,
So
and that's an interesting point on WFS, because they do run their merchant side in WFS very similar to Amazon, but as far as getting them up and running, it feels like two different lanes. You can't sell, like on Amazon, you can sell the product, the whatever product, merchant and FBA on the same listing, whereas Walmart, you can't do that. So, and even you can get approved and then immediately you can start listing merchant product, and then you have to go through a couple extra steps to then get approved for the WFS side. So it's like two different lanes on Walmart, whereas Amazon, it's one lane, throw it all on, see what happens.
yeah. So Andy, what can you tell us about, let's go back a minute to the other topic about getting started at Walmart. So, we actually just launched a poll, and I'm going to share the results with everybody. So we have like this. We got 50% of the audience. 50% of people responded to the poll. Not everybody responded to it, but 50% of people responded are selling selling on Walmart and Amazon. Then we got like another 30% who are only selling on Amazon. And we have 2% that are only selling on Walmart, and then we have 18% that are not selling. So there's I would say half of the poll are not really selling on Walmart. What can you tell them, about getting started? And what I'm saying is that, people like to move fast. They want to get started, they want to move fast, of course. Like, what are the main basic steps to getting started, and what are like the common pitfalls, like, right away to avoid in this?
Yeah. And I think I'm already seeing in the questions similar things, because you don't have the data. I mean, once you get your store up, most sellers are pulling over their Amazon inventory, listing it either merchant or WFS. I know a lot of, in my community and the people I talk to jumping into Walmart, they'll usually list their inventory merchant and test it out to see what does well over here compared to Amazon, and then roll it over to WFS as I see those results. But to think that the sales are not happening would not be accurate. Our first month over there, I think we cleared 40,000 in sales, and that was really just testing our Amazon product out. So I think that would be that's obviously great, but it can create other issues in bookkeeping, just kind of keeping track then of Amazon, what's happening on Amazon, and then bringing in Walmart. Walmart is different, especially if you're shipping merchant, because you can ship through Walmart, which is a newer feature. You can buy shipping labels through Walmart. It's usually more expensive. So then you're connecting something like ShipStation and using credit to then purchase shipping labels, which ConnectBooks does connect to ShipStation, correct?
Yeah, we do.
So that makes it nice, but there are some hurdles over there like that. It's just not as seamless as Amazon is. Everything just takes, it's simple. And when it comes to bookkeeping, that does make it nice because it's 8 to 15% fees on most of the product you're selling. But
Could
if
you go
you're,
back a minute? We lost you for like a half a second.
oh yeah, what did you hear me last?
We heard you last. We're like, you start off with Walmart. We're comparing the fees.
Yeah, the fees are the same. And so it makes it nice, but it's so simple on Walmart that it can kind of create a little bit more of a headache to just almost you need to go slow through the steps, but then the demand is also there. And so I think that was a great point what Nachman said about watching your margin and your bottom line. I think that's the first question people have is bookkeeping. What do I need to have? What does the ungating look like? What are the restrictions look like? So you can scale quickly because it does happen. I mean, when we got started and I was testing product and pretty much putting limitless quantity up there, I would wake up to 200 orders, which is out of control, but the demand is there. So getting it all set up in place to have a good bookkeeping structure, know where you're going to purchase shipping labels if you're starting merchant to test product before you switch it over WFS. All of those little details matter. But Walmart is pretty simple. Once you're on, sell what you want, create listings. If you already have a brand, you can get that set up over there. Pretty straightforward. Uh, yeah, I think somebody did mention creating listings. You can definitely do that. You can put your brand over there. They have great, what is it? You can sponsor listings, you can create ads. All of that good stuff is happening over on Walmart too. And I think it just takes a little bit of time to get all your products set up and running the way you want it to be.
I have an interesting question. You mentioned like on Walmart, one of the things is that they don't have any ranks. Like I know like in Amazon, one of the biggest things is the buybacks.
Right.
Not just the buybacks. You want to understand how often you get the buybacks, but that's when you're competing. But then also before you get to the buybacks, one of the things is you check the rank of the product, and the rank of the product is really what will tell you how much it will sell. And that's primarily where most softwares, get their data. And I mean, recently Amazon also started releasing how many, like if a product sells well, they'll write like, this sold over 10,000 units last month.
Right.
Is there like any like tools that can give like forecasting analytics on Walmart that sellers can use to like see this product sells very good on Walmart, or primarily people are just looking what sells on Amazon and then just trying to sell those products on Walmart as well?
Right. There's not a great tool right now. That's once you get the listing into your catalog, there is a performance metric on Walmart Seller Center where you can see conversion rate and views. So very
But that's
simple.
only but that will only be for the seller, not for the public.
That's only for the seller, correct? And it's on the listing that you add. So that's helpful. Very basic information. How many times are people searching for the product you list? But on if your listing is already up on Walmart, I do like to look at that listing because it'll show trending product, 1,000 bought yesterday, 50 bought yesterday, but there is no ranking system. There's a theory that if it's selling on Amazon and you can see those metrics there, it probably will sell on Walmart. So that is why a lot of sellers are testing their product out first to see, does this product do well on its own? Do I need to put it in a bundle? But I've heard some people say bundles don't work as well, multi-packs don't work as well on Walmart as they do on Amazon. So when you're like, why isn't there as many sellers? Why aren't the sharks there yet? Because we're testing a lot of stuff out. I think that's the benefit of being a small seller. You can pivot, test your product, see what does well, change a listing, define the listing a little bit better, but it's kind of a hope and a prayer.
Wow. So you're saying basically in terms of like forecasting, estimating what the sales will be on Walmart, there isn't really any tools for it. But what people are primarily doing is they're taking their good going products on Amazon and testing
Yeah.
that at Walmart. So I always like to look at the positive side. I would say that not being able to see how much a product sells is a very big downside because you don't know what to purchase next. But I would say that if you do find a good product, it's not so easy for other people to know that this sells well on Walmart. So you can
Right.
kind of keep it by yourself for a little bit before
Right.
everybody starts jumping on you.
Exactly. And it's common to have a listing I'm selling really well and there's no other sellers.
Because
You
no one
know,
knows about it.
competition is slim. And yeah, I am taking my keep it charts from Amazon. For instance, last summer, trending products from TikTok was a liquid starch laundry product. And I saw videos on TikTok. So, of course I run to Amazon. What is it selling for on Amazon? And there was over 100 sellers. On Walmart, there was nobody selling this product. and I jumped on and started selling it, you know? So it is putting to work, you know, putting to work all the tools you've taken on Amazon, you've learned over the years, and doing some of the work. I mean, there are some tools coming. I'm testing some of the new products that are about to come out on the market. Are they going to solve all these problems? No, because Walmart is hiding a lot of this information. They're just not making it public. So, yeah, it's a big hurdle for new sellers.
But I do know that Walmart has the option to, so what we're talking about is more like forecasting, like if you want to have like tools that like scrape listings and tell you what sells. But I do know that on your own sales, Walmart does give conversions. They don't give everything like so nice and easy, but I do know that we are implementing some features in order to be able to see conversion rates. You're able to see the traffic and those stuff. So I would say that in the Walmart side, we will be having an update coming pretty soon in the next like probably 2 to 3 weeks, which will be, I would say, more after the fact. Like after the day has gone by, you know, how much traffic have you gained from this product?
Right.
What is your conversion rates? And actually you can compare back to Amazon to see if you convert better on Walmart or not. That information is available. We're having certain updates on that. But currently, like to find new products in Walmart is a bit hard because they don't have a proper ranking system. It's
Right.
really interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I have tested a lot of my products. Like I do a lot of grocery slash seasonal. So I'll pull over all of my Amazon listings and they dominate on Walmart. There's no lack. They do really well. But then you'll kind of have a product that's random in your Amazon catalog that's like niche into car parts, for instance, gardening, and nothing. No, so you're like, okay, somebody is wanting to buy this product in a store versus a third party seller. So it's just kind of collecting that information that you're probably going to be collecting for yourself for a really long time. Like, even if they do pull out ranking systems at some point, how do you know people aren't just buying Pepsi in a store versus online? You know, what's the difference there? And what products are customers more wanting to buy in person to try them out to see how they work? And then that pulls into, you know, it's easy to return products at Walmart. So getting a ranking system will not be as straightforward as it is on Amazon.
But definitely be something.
Yeah, I guess something is better than nothing.
Something better than nothing. All right.
Yeah.
So our last topic that we're going to discuss is more about deep dive about into keeping books up to date. So I'm not going to spend too much time in it. As everybody says, accounting is boring. People don't like accounting. And, you know, I get it. But one thing I do want to say is like the main thing about what we always focus on is making sure that people have proper books. So having proper books, there's a few different ways that I see people doing this. So sometimes people have spreadsheets and sometimes people just use like, let's say certain softwares to just check profitability on an item. And the reason why I don't like, meaning the reason why those methods are not enough for your business and why you have to get a proper set of books is the idea is that there's always one-time expenses coming into your business and there's always going to be different type of expenses coming in. The idea of running QuickBooks is that QuickBooks is an accounting tool. And what is an accounting tool? An accounting tool is something that will connect to your bank account and go through every single transaction. And you want to make sure that every single transaction is properly recorded. So at the end of the day, when you want to analyze your business and you run over your P&L, you want to make sure that when you see that bottom number, whether it says that you made 50,000 that month, you want to make sure that that number is 100% accurate. And you want to make sure that you didn't miss out any single transaction. So if you're running on a spreadsheet, the problem is spreadsheets don't really have a way of making sure that they match up to a bank account because they're not designed for that. They're designed just to do like a report versus where you run, let's say, a set of books, something like QuickBooks, where that will connect, let's say, directly to your Chase account. And at the end of the month, you would make sure that your QuickBooks bank register matches to your Chase bank account. You know that every dollar in, every dollar out has been properly accounted for. And what we help is connecting Walmart to QuickBooks and making sure the data flows properly in is also important because they say something called garbage in, garbage out. So it all depends how you put the data into QuickBooks and how you set it up properly that by the end of the month comes, you can see your proper results and have a clear picture. If you just like basically dump things in and out all over, then at the end of the month, when you're trying to review the numbers and you don't understand it, then the whole bookkeeping process is really, really, really pointless. So the point is that we want to make sure that you have a proper set of books and that you have understanding. Now, what is going to be one of the main key factors that I would say in bookkeeping that we look at? The first thing is we always look at the bottom number of the whole business to make sure the business is performing well. Now, if the business is performing well, our next metric is also to look at the inventory. So one of the things you also want to make sure with a proper bookkeeping system is to have your proper inventory value. Know how much inventory you have in hand. So I will just give you one little example. I have a client that made last year $100,000 profit. So after their sales, minus cost of goods sold, minus their overhead, minus all their expenses, they made $100,000 profit. Now, when they made $100,000 profit, the question was, how much inventory did I have left? So let's say in the beginning of the year, they had $100,000 worth of inventory. And at the end of the year, after selling everything, they have $200,000 worth of inventory. So what does that tell us? That tells us like this, that all the inventory was bought throughout the year was not sold, because the beginning of the year you had 100, end of the year you have 200. It means you have $100,000 more inventory. So the whole profit that company made basically got buried into inventory. What you want to make sure is that how much profit you make doesn't get, meaning all your dollar doesn't get back into inventory. Now, I understand people tell me, look, I want to scale, I want to go fast, I want to buy quick moving items, I want to constantly keep on investing. I also want to invest. Everybody wants to invest. But what you want to make sure is that your inventory doesn't go out of control. And I would say the proper metric is to look at your cost of goods sold for 3 months and make sure your inventory is not more than that. And what I mean is, let's say, for example, your sales on Walmart is, let's say, 50,000 a month. Now, let's say from that 50,000, the cost of the product is 25. Let's say it's 50%. So that means to say in a month, you sell $25,000 worth of inventory. You should not be keeping more than 75,000 on hand. So ideally, you shouldn't have more than a 3 to 4 month stock. That's the most. I mean, back in COVID, in the days when shipping containers took forever, people needed more supply, but these days things are more streamlined. If you want to be a little more cautious than 3 months, go to 4 months, 5 months max. I haven't seen any successful business carry more than 5 months worth of inventory. Now, what you want to make sure at the end of the day, after you review your books, you have your proper profit number. What you want to make sure is that your inventory is not, number one, not going up out of whack. I mean, unless you have a plan, what you plan on doing, you understand what you're doing. But besides that, you want to make sure it doesn't go up. And the other thing we also want to make sure is that you don't have more than, I would say, ideally 3 months stock. The max is 5 months. You want to make sure that doesn't number. And if you're finding it, even if you're profitable, you have to constantly make sure that you're not going more than the 3 month stock line, because whatever you're doing at the end of the day, that's going to deplete your cash flow, and then you're going to have a very hard time, really keeping up in business and, really staying in a business. And I say this much, kind of going through a tough time. Whoever says that everything is just as it was is just literally in denial. This is what I do all day, help people that are accounting. What I would say is the people who are doing well these days are the people that are on top of the numbers. People who are on top of the numbers. People don't just buy inventory because they got a good deal. They actually make sure that the inventory sells out. They actually make sure they don't sit with inventory more than 3 to 4 months. Those are the people who are still making money. So it was a different ballgame a year and a half ago, where the economy was doing great and everybody was buying and everybody was selling, and sales are down on Amazon as well. Meaning to say, from numbers I've seen from bigger sellers, they're down, I would say 10 to 15%, because the economy is just down. People are down. But that doesn't mean that people are not making money. Meaning, like say, for example, a big account that I analyzed was making, let's say, 2 million in profit. Last year, made only 1.5. So they're down 0.25% in profit, but they're still making money. They're still in business. Business is still running. Just the difference is that you have to be very on top of, number one, of your profits, and number two, the other silent killer that I call is your inventory. So if your inventory doesn't, meaning if your profit is very good, but it's getting buried in inventory, we don't have anything from your business either. So we want to make sure that your profit is good, and you want to make sure that your inventory is not going out of whack, and you manage to spin it in a 3 month cycle. I guarantee you'll be doing very well. All right, so we're going to move on to our Q&A section now, and we're going to go through the questions. I think there is some questions in the chat. I'm going to run through them and we'll see. Let's see what's going on here. We only really have like 10 to 15 minutes left, so we don't have that much time to go, but we will try to go on, run through all the questions. So question number one for you, Emily: does WFS give you more exposure to sales like buybacks, same as FBA? I guess the question is, are people like, I know with Amazon, everybody's competing. So like you can let's say sell a Canon camera and have 100 people bidding on that. Does the same go with WFS?
Yeah, once you switch if you're testing product first merchant and then switching it over WFS or whatever you're doing, you are definitely winning the buy box and you're able to price up significantly, like 5%, having the buy box as a WFS seller. They do have pro badge. It's like back in the day with Amazon, they were offering merchant sellers prime, certain badges. Well, if you get that badge as a merchant seller, you'll also get preferential treatment in the buy box. So definitely WFS, you're going to price up and compete really well against other sellers. But yeah, even as a merchant seller, if you are getting your shipping out on time and, basically the same account health protocol as Amazon, if that is all healthy, they will give you that pro badge stamp of approval. And that will also allow you to price up and still win the buy box.
How do people get that pro badge?
There's several metrics. It's like getting your orders out on time, getting them delivered on time, not canceling orders, responding to customers, and like shipping so many orders within a certain amount of time.
And Amazon doesn't have at this point like a pro badge.
No.
So that's significant if you can pull that through.
Yeah. It's difficult to maintain because there's some on the back end of Walmart, with the shipping, they don't always sync with USPS really well. So it can look like your shipping did not get on time. But if you have the pro badge, they will push you in the buy box over other sellers, even priced significantly lower than you. So it's helpful.
Wow. Does Walmart also have restrictions on storage? Like I know with Amazon, there's like the max, and now there's like a new
Yeah.
thing that you have to keep a minimum. How
Yeah.
does Walmart? Can you send in as much as you want, or they
I
restrict?
don't see anything like that. I don't see any restrictions for new sellers. You're going to run into restrictions just similar to Amazon. As a new seller, they kind of keep you gated in a way as how much you can sell per month. But those restrictions are really easy to get through. And I will say they have a big event happening in August in San Francisco, and it seems like they're putting out a lot of new updates for that event in the platform. So some of these things I don't know. I don't think it's been around. Like, do they have a subscribe and save option? I have not seen anything like that, but it seems like daily they're rolling out new features. I would imagine so they have a lot to announce at that event in August.
Nice. All right. So next question is some of them we already answered. Um, all right. So somebody's asking, is it important to rewrite the listings for Walmart in terms of like keyword optimization? Like, what's the best way to like, or could you just copy paste the whole listing over from Amazon directly into Walmart?
Yeah, you can copy paste it. It's a very simple process to get a listing up and going. There is a platform called Wally Smarter, and that is a good one. There's a couple there's Data Spark and Wally Smarter that are specific to Walmart. And Wally Smarter has a feature where you can create a listing within Wally Smarter and it will give you all the keywords that will help boost. So there are some things out there already. They're just not there yet.
Mm-hmm. But you did mention that once you have the listing, you probably could see certain search terms. So you can, meaning initial creating the listing, probably maybe just copy over from Amazon. Then I guess like 2 weeks in, you can probably search the keywords to see, what's performing better.
Right. And you can always update the listing, update the pictures, the title as you're going.
And then there's another question is, what about sellers that can do weekend deliveries? Does Walmart require to do weekend deliveries?
So this is interesting. This is something they just updated a week ago. At one point, as far as the merchant side, you could set up your shipping template. I'm sorry, did you say merchant or WFS?
The person did not specify. The just question is about weekend deliveries. So it's probably for merchant, I guess, not for
Yeah.
WFS.
You don't have to do weekend deliveries, but they just did update their shipping template and rules, and that has all changed. It was like you could ship out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which was really nice because as a merchant seller on this platform and testing a lot of products, you have hundreds of orders to get out. They did away with that. You have to ship 5 days a week. And at one point, you had to ship Saturday, maybe Sunday to get the pro seller badge. That's really interesting. So WFS, they do not have the pro seller badge. WFS, once you switch your product over and Walmart is fulfilling, you'll get preferential treatment immediately.
So the Pro Badge is just for merchant, not for WFS?
Yes.
Got it. Got it. So it's probably the best is just to get to WFS and just ship the products there.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are testing them out first just to see, but if you have the sales history from Amazon, you could assume that it would do well on Walmart. I would start with smaller shipments. I wouldn't send pallets in to test it out. Sometimes there's issues with them accepting the inventory and getting it listed and glitches along the way. So I would start small, make sure it's getting checked in, make sure the product. As far as restrictions, you can send hazmat in. Sometimes you'll send a product in that is pesticide, and sometimes you'll take some of them, sometimes not the other. So I would just test them all out in smaller batches before you jump into the deep end.
Here's an interesting question. Is there a way to ship to a specific WFS fulfillment center? This customer's claiming they want me to ship pretty far. Is there something like you can ship locally, or can you have everything go to one fulfillment center? I know with Amazon that's been now a big deal, but
Yeah.
how are people dealing with it on Walmart?
I'm just trying to think. I believe you can pay up and pick your warehouse.
You could pick your warehouse.
Yes, and I want to say I was just talking to somebody about this, and so I don't want to get it wrong, but I think that's an option.
Mhm. All right, that would be a significant advantage because I know everybody's complaining about Walmart. I mean, Amazon is now having all these different placement fees and making their ship to multiple warehouses, which it's like basically driving up the shipping rate by 10x. So
Yeah,
people are really, happy to have that.
yeah.
Um,
And as far as WFS and prepping product, it is also easier because you don't have to label your product unless you're sending in a multi-pack, which is better or worse. You could think of all the cons to that, but you don't have to label your inventory. You put it in a box and send it in.
mhm. What level of brand protection does Walmart offer? We know that Amazon has the whole brand protection. You can
Yeah.
open your own brand, you can gate it, and you can block other sellers, from selling your products. How does that compare with Walmart? What does Walmart have about that?
This is a hard question for me because I do not have a brand. I'm just
Mhm.
reselling brands that I can. So I would say though, if I could guess, it's probably on the newer side. I mean, I have gotten IP claims, but it's all very basic. It's coming into my email. I'm not sure what they can do as far as reaching out to Walmart to kick third-party sellers off. I don't know the steps, honestly, for that.
Mhm.
I would imagine it's very basic.
So I was asking a question. If I'm selling 100K per month on Amazon, what would I expect from Walmart per month? Is that something we can answer even, or what do you think about that?
I mean, it really depends on the product, right? Because there's so many products that you think, and that's where I think it really does come back to who is the customer on Walmart, and so if you have something like a grocery product, that's pretty neutral or replenishable, you probably compete really well. But then if you are niching into pets and cars and gardening, it might be a little bit different. So but we do really well on Walmart, and in our community, I have peer pressured everyone to open a Walmart account. They're doing really well. And a lot of the smaller sellers are ditching Amazon right now because Walmart is dominating. And so just to kind of focus in and learn all the intricacies of Walmart, but you could compete definitely with what's happening on
I mean, I
Amazon.
definitely could think about it if I'm to do my grocery shopping at Walmart and, let's say I went, yesterday and then today I'm like, oh, I forgot to buy this. And I would just go on the Walmart app and just buy it, versus I wouldn't think of doing my groceries on Amazon. Never thought of that.
Right. Right. And you don't buy one-off products on Amazon, like smaller, where I'll get marshmallows, for instance, but the sales are there. My friend and I, we talk a lot about Walmart, and she focuses on merchant, and not last weekend, a couple weekends ago, she had like 900 orders to fulfill on a Sunday. So the capacity is definitely there. There's just some hurdles along the way of, getting your listing up, those sort of things.
What exactly does Walmart accept as an experienced seller to open a Walmart account? You mentioned that they want like more
Yeah.
experience. What do they accept as a Walmart seller?
So bottom line, they want an EIN. Whereas, Amazon, put your driver's license and a bank account and you're good to go. You're
But
gonna need
do they want to see like sales history? Like, are they going to ask more questions about the brand or the product, or it's literally just seeing like a corporation setup?
They want to see that you have a business set up and they want a storefront. So you
What do you
can,
mean like a storefront? They want to see a storefront on Amazon? They want to see a
yes.
Shopify website?
So
What do
you
they
can
want to see?
grab your Amazon URL, and in the application process, you can include that. And that will be helpful. If you're a brand new Amazon seller, that's not going to be helpful. What they're looking at is, you said you're selling health and beauty and your store has health and beauty products. You have reviews. And I've heard even Walmart will deny people and say, well, it doesn't look like you have a catalog that can support both Walmart and Amazon. So that's when I say they want established sellers. That's kind of what I'm talking about. And I have seen people use their eBay storefront and Etsy storefront and get approved. So take that with what you want to do with it.
There's another question. Have you tried any helium-10 for keyword research? If yes, what do you think about it?
I haven't used helium-10.
You haven't used it. All right.
Yeah, Tony, it says, can you merchant? Yes, you can merchant fulfill your own orders, but unlike Amazon, you have to pick with the product. So if you were to start merchant fulfilling your products, and then you say you send in a shipment, once that shipment is live and up on Walmart, your merchant listing would fall off while it's WFS. And then once you sell out WFS, it would switch back to your merchant inventory, if that makes sense.
All right, we are hitting our time up. We did a lot to answer all these questions, and there is some of them we probably didn't get to, but if you still have an outstanding question or you still want to, feel free. So you can always reach out to me, meaning more, I would say more on the accounting side, or if somebody wants help on WFS, I said I have a contact there or not. Definitely Emily would probably be more the go-to person. So my contact information is, you just visit our website, connectbooks.com, and you can either email us info@connectbooks.com, or you just open a live chat on our website. Our support team is there to help you throughout the process, and if they can't answer something, it will move up the queue to the higher ranks until you get the proper answer. So if anybody has other follow-up questions, other stuff for us, definitely be able to reach out to me afterwards. And then I am offering a coupon code. So if anybody wants to sign up for connectbooks.com, we are offering 20% off for the first 3 months. And the coupon code for that is going to be Walmart webinar. So when you do sign up for ConnectBooks, you would need to put in this coupon code Walmart webinar. Please be advised that this is only for new customers only. It's 20% off for the first 3 months, and it's also limited to the first 25 people. So we've had quite a lot of people signed up on this webinar, and we have had way more than 25 people are live on the webinar. So it's for the first 25 people who get it are able to get this. And if you have any other questions, of feel free to reach out to me. And also, Emily, like, she runs a course of, I see somebody had asked in the chat, like, they need help setting up a Walmart account or how to sell Walmart. That's what Emily does, and I'll let her say how her contact information is.
Yeah, so the Crazy Flippin' Mom community is open right now, and it is specific to online and retail arbitrage sellers. So I see some wholesale private label sellers. I don't think it's going to be the best fit for you. But I put a link in the chat. You can sign up for a Walmart account with this link. I would appreciate it. And also below that link, I do have a Walmart crash course. It is 3 hours, and it would be good no matter what you plan to sell. I go over as far as getting set up, what you need to know, the fees, what Walmart expects from you, and then I go through a really extensive Q&A with the people who were a part of that live course. So today, we just set up a code. It is CrazyConnect40 to get 40% off. You can go to the link I put in the chat. Maybe we can put this out in an email as well. And you can download and watch that crash course on demand. You'll have it forever. You can watch it over and over. But you can find me and interact with me on all social media platforms. If the Crazy Flippin' Mom community is not the right fit for you, you can still connect with me on Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. I'm live all the time. But yeah, if you have any other questions about my community, about the course, feel free to reach out. I can give Nachman my email as well, and maybe I can have a contact there if you have more.
We will have an email going out after the webinar. It's probably be maybe today or probably tomorrow, just with a recap of what we spoke about. And there's going to be my contact information and your contact information, everything included in there. So, if anybody wants to follow up, they'll definitely get that. And also, this webinar will be recorded and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and other places as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining, and thanks everybody for joining here, and see you on our next webinar.
Bye.